Welcome back to 5 Minutes with Philly FileMaker. We're at phillyfilemaker.org. Come and visit us. I am with Matt Navarre from MSN Media. And Matt, you're going to be busy. We are in the middle of day 2, Tuesday at DevCon, and you've got a busy schedule today and tomorrow. So let's talk about all the things that you're involved with. A couple of panels and a session. Let's start with the panels.
Panels, last year at DevCon, the most fun I had the entire time was moderating a panel discussion on value billing.
Oh, yeah.
Which was just a joy. And the people in the room, I think, really dug it too. So Molly really ran with that idea, Molly Connolly, to try to get some panels as actual sessions this year, which they haven't done in forever at DevCon.
Right.
They did back in the day. So they added an official panel for vertical markets, which is something that I do a lot, something I really focus on with my clients.
Yeah.
And I'm co-moderating that panel with Molly, so sort of moderator, sort of guest kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm also doing an unconference panel with Stephen Gallagher and Kirk Bowman, Mighty Kirk, about value, not value billing, but just value, how to build value, how to create value, which is going to be interesting because I actually don't really fully know where they're going with that. So it's going to be like really fresh for me as well as for the people.
Right. So as a moderator, you're just going to sort of guide the conversation.
Exactly.
And you can sort of react to where they're going.
Exactly, which I love that. I mean, I try to do that on the podcast. We're doing that right now.
Right. Let's talk about the vertical market one a little bit more. There's not usually a lot of attention on vertical market at DevCon.
Yeah, it's a fairly small segment of the FileMaker market, I think, which I think is sad because I think FileMaker is such a great platform to develop vertical market apps in.
It's a different world, and I guess if you're not doing vertical market, that topics around vertical market solutions would really be probably perceived as very irrelevant. Although I think there are lessons to be learned if you're in custom software or in vertical markets from each side. But I would assume the perception would be that way. What are you looking forward to, or what are you going to try to bring out in that panel as a moderator? Where are you going with it?
Well, what I really want to do with that is I want to find out the different people there, and there's a pretty wide array of the panelists, how they've gotten successful and what were the hard parts. What did they skip? Obviously, having co-founded Pre-One Software in 1999 and then leaving there a couple of years ago, I know kind of what their road was like.
Sure.
And I formed a lot of opinions on how I approach vertical marketing from that. But then there's these other people, some smaller, some bigger, then I really want to find out what their road was like. So for me, that's kind of what I'm going to try to bring out of it.
It'd be interesting to know how it's changed with FileMaker over the years,
right.
And what, from a technical perspective, it would be interesting to hear people's opinions on how more attractive it is as a platform,
right? Because
of new feature sets.
Well, kind of the biggest thing with now, if you had a vertical market company, mostly you're probably thinking, I'm going to develop it as an ASP. You can develop a web model, have one database, or one server farm, and have all your clients hosted. But there's a lot of industries that are really sort of reacting against that. They don't like having somebody else have all their data. And if the company goes out of business, all they get is a few tables of data. They don't have an application to run.
Right.
Because the application goes away when the company goes away.
So is there sort of in the marketplace, is there a lean against that?
Yeah, in some industries, I think that's pretty big. I mean, obviously Salesforce.com is still doing really well in a lot of industries.
Right.
And they have a pretty rich, some actual vertical companies are building in Salesforce. You can be a Salesforce developer just like we're FileMaker. But if you have a solution that's running in FileMaker and the company goes away, or I've been doing this a long time. I've seen companies come and go, right? You have your database. You can hire some local person, which is existing everywhere. So you don't really lose anything. You still have exactly what you had, and you've bought yourself time to move to whatever you're going to do next.
Right. Let's switch gears to the session tomorrow. Search has obviously been a big part of your life in the last few years. Talk about the session that you're going to be doing.
So I released FM search results last year, and talked about that some at DevCon. So this, in FileMaker 11, Quick Find came out, the new feature that allows you to do really simple searches on the layout. I'm going to talk about sort of the details of what that does, ins and outs of that, do's and don'ts, and then mostly, I think, if that doesn't satisfy you, how to take over the Quick Find widget and point it at whatever search kind of you want to do, and then talk about using it for things other than just search, like navigation and running math and using it for doing Google searches. And then there's some other fun things too that you can actually just use the Quick Find script step for other things in your solution. It's like you get onto a record and you want to say, show me stuff that's similar to this one field. You can send that field's contents to the Quick Find engine, which is pretty smart. It did some things that are really surprising to me, how good it is. And then, boom, you have a set of records that matches that particular thing. So I think it's going to have a few hidden benefits.
That's great, because when I first saw Quick Find, it just sort of like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
You type some stuff in there and it does its thing, and you're done. Like that's a fast feature to sort of get through.
Right.
But it sounds like you're really extending.
Well, really, it's a user feature. It's not a developer feature.
Right.
But I guess what I'm talking about is if you like the status toolbar, how do you make Quick Find a real developer feature?
Yeah,
take it over. So that basically saves you space in layouts, because now you've got this widget that works properly in all the modes of FileMaker and can be hidden and shown by showing the status toolbar.
Right.
So it's got, there's some cool things with
that. Sounds like a great session.
And then, of course, I'll be talking a lot about the FM search results methods and techniques as well, iterating searches. And,
sure.
And
that's just mind-blowing.
It's fun.
FileMaker Talk. Are you doing podcasts this week?
Yes, I've released 2 episodes already, and we'll be recording and releasing more. Matt Petrowski is driving here as we speak to record some stuff.
He's getting here kind of late.
I know, he's a little
halfway
late.
Through
and he lives an hour away, so.
So look for new DevCon 2010 podcast episodes from FileMaker Talk. Thanks so much for being here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. It's the greatest thing about DevCon. Getting to see people you get to see once, maybe twice a year.
That's true, or 3 times.
Yeah, if you go to a couple of those. So catch us at phillyfilemaker.org. This is 5 Minutes with Philly FileMaker.